Hello and welcome to Clearview News Desk. We are reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. First, the headlines. Federal government, Nan's retired Akinriade cautioned former President Obasanjo over inciting comments and letter. Abuja residents divided over collation and management of Saturday presidential and National Assembly election results. At last, Senator Ekwerimadu's doctor confesses to organ harvesting allegations. I am Gloria Atta with these and more. Welcome. The federal government has urged former President Olusegun Obasanjo not to truncate the 2023 general elections with his allegedly inciting, self-serving and provocative letter on the polls. In a statement in Abuja this Tuesday, the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, said what the former president cunningly framed as an appeal for caution and rectification was nothing but a calculated attempt to undermine the electoral process and a willful incitement to violence. Mohammed expressed shock and disbelief that a former president could purportedly throw around unverified claims and amplify wild allegations picked up from the streets against the electoral process. The National Association of Nigerian Students has asked those aggrieved about the outcome of the 2023 general elections to go to court and seek redress. The association, in a statement by its vice president, Akinteye Babatunde, also chided former President Olusegun Obasanjo for calling for the cancellation of the presidential election results. Obasanjo had in a letter urged President Muhammadu Buhari to cancel the presidential and National Assembly elections for not passing the credibility and transparency test. He further urged President Buhari to reschedule such cancelled election along with areas where elections were disrupted for next Saturday, March 4, 2023. Obasanjo argued that the beavers and server officials for the elections should also be changed. Warning Obasanjo not to set the country on fire, the Students' Association said it was disappointed by the letter written by the former president, asking Nigerians not to take him serious. In the same vein, a former Chief of Defense Staff, Alani Akinriade, has asked President Muhammadu Buhari to ignore the call by the former President Olusegun Obasanjo for the cancellation of the presidential and National Assembly elections over alleged fraud. Obasanjo on Monday alleged that the results of the elections held on Saturday across Nigeria had been manipulated. He also called on the president and Inec to act to avert a looming danger. Akinriade, however, condemned Obasanjo's allegation, noting that the statement was coming at a time the electoral umpire was still processing the results. Akinriade described Obasanjo's allegation as disturbing and detrimental to the continued development of the country's democracy. The retired Army General also recalled Obasanjo's years, his democratic antics, and many bullish attempts at circumventing the political process. Still on election controversy, the Atiku Okowa campaign organization has asked the Independent National Electoral Commission (Inec) to cancel all collated results so far and declare the election inconclusive. A spokesman for the campaign, Daniel Bwala, disclosed this in a statement this Tuesday. He alleged that the election has been marred by irregularities, describing it as a total departure from the Electoral Act amendment. Section 65 of the Electoral Act mandates the INEC chairman to correct every anomaly raised by stakeholders of the process, political party and their agents, within 7 days. The Igbo Elders Consultative Forum have expressed dissatisfaction over the failure of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to live up to expectations despite its numerous promises to deliver a free, fair, credible and transparent elections to Nigerians. Speaking at a press briefing this Monday in Abuja, the Secretary of the Council, Professor Charles Nwekiaku, while reviewing the Council's findings from Saturday's presidential elections, faulted the Inec's failure to keep up with the standards and requirements as contained in the Electoral Act to ensure Nigerians exercise their rights in the most peaceful manner.
The Independent Electoral Commission, Inec, has woefully failed to live up to its expectation, despite repeated assurances of its chairman, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, and other officers that the Commission was ready to conduct free, fair, and credible elections in the country. The most worrisome aspect of this woeful failure of INEC is its inability to keep or observe its own standards, which it set out for itself. To add insult to injury, INEC deliberately refused to upload or transmit the votes to the central server as stipulated in the 2023 new Electoral Act. In few places where INEC transmitted results, it was selective, as only the Senate and House of Representatives results were uploaded, while the presidential results were blatantly abandoned and, in some cases, doctored to suit the interests of INEC paid masters.
He therefore called on Nigerians to ensure that their will is not truncated by the electoral umpire.
In view of the above issues and more, the Igbo Elders Consultative Forum is compared to ask INEC to reverse its ignominious role and ensure that the will of Nigerians in electing a popular, credible, capable, and competent president is not truncated by whatever reasons.
We are warning INEC not to put Nigerian democracy in jeopardy. Enough is enough, and we advise them to stop this declaration forthwith. We should go back to the uploading system. The servers must work. If not, the election should be postponed.
Speaking earlier, the chairman of the council and former Anambra State Governor, Chukwuemeka Ezefe, while speaking, said he is optimistic that Nigerians can still rise again.
I have faith, even now, that God can repair all the crooked places will be made straight. Everybody knows that many things went wrong. The foreign observers identified many critical areas that went wrong. The local observers did the same. And we who are observing nothing at least saw that after a while, the presidential result was no longer uploaded. That is enough, because that gives opportunity for people to do what they want with the figures.
Meanwhile, former governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, has urged the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar, to accept defeat amid the ongoing collation of Saturday's presidential election. While appealing to Atiku to exhibit maturity in accepting defeat, Fayose, who belongs to the same party as the presidential candidate, advised that he should take a break and retire to Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. The Ekiti ex-governor disclosed this in a tweet he posted on his verified Twitter handle on Monday evening. The tweet read, "Our candidate, His Excellency Atiku Abubakar, should accept defeat in maturity and retire peacefully to Dubai. At this juncture, may I say good night and goodbye to all you represent." Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is yet to announce the winner of the election which was held on Saturday, as collation is still ongoing. With Atiku winning some states in some of the results released, he is trailing the candidate of the APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The National Human Rights Commission has this Tuesday held its monthly review forum in furtherance of its 2023 election project, mobilizing voters for elections. The forum, among other things, throws more light on the nature of complaints received by the Human Rights Situation Room with regard to the presidential and National Assembly elections. Clearview News' Imefono Okon was there and now tells us more.
Declaring the forum opened, the Executive Secretary of the National Human Rights Commission, Tony Ojukwu, while applauding security agencies for maintaining law and order at the polling units across the country, insisted that there must be accountability of human rights violation and other infractions that played out during the electoral process.
From the reports we are getting from the field, the security agencies did fairly well. And if there is a violation of these rights, either through violence or disenfranchisement or vote buying or intimidation or use of hate speech, there has to be a remedy somehow. If we don't see these issues as right-based issues, it becomes very simple for people to violate these rights and get away with them.
In terms of right to freedom of association, we have seen a lot of clampdown in Kano, in Lagos, and in Rivers.
Other stakeholders at the forum said it is important to see that government and civil society group collaborate to ensure issues of infraction during the electoral process are addressed.
Now, we expect that those Nigerian people who have voted should be able to be reassured that all their efforts were not in vain. In other words, that their vote will count. And how would a vote count? It is by ensuring that there is transparency, there is credibility, and the election collation, the result collations are free, fair, and credible.
But I want to say that Nigerians should continue to demand for accountability because a huge amount of resources was actually budgeted to do this electronic transmission of results. Inec, as of last year, November, had assured the nation and the entire international community that they were ready and that results would be transmitted and uploaded immediately. Now, the silence by Inec, even if they had genuine issue, with the system, they ought to have on timely basis respond to the Nigerians so that the rumor that was going on would have been actually, removed.
Recall that the National Human Rights Commission, as part of its mandate to promote and protect human rights, launched its 2023 election project tagged Mobilizing Voters for Election to ensure access, participation, and accountability in the electoral process. Imefono Okon, reporting for Clearview News.
No fewer than 5 governors of the All Progressives Congress APC and the People's Democratic Party PDP have lost their bids for the Senate after Saturday's presidential and National Assembly elections. Here is a news review of the losses and gains from Clearview News Desk.
The governors who lost their senatorial bids include Ben Ayade. He was defeated by the incumbent senator representing Cross River North, Jarigbe Agam Jarigbe. Ayade, who is serving out his 2 terms as governor, sought to replace Agam Jarigbe as the senator. Ayade, who was in the Senate between 2011 and 2015, lost with 56,595 votes against Agam Jarigbe of the People's Democratic Party PDP, who scored 76,145 votes. Enugu Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, one of the G5 governors, lost his senatorial bid to the Labour Party candidate for the district, Okechukwu Ezea. Ugwuanyi, who is running off his 2nd term as governor, was the People's Democratic Party candidate for the Enugu North. Ezea, the Labour Party candidate, polled a total of 104,492 votes to defeat Ugwuanyi of the PDP, who came 2nd with 46,948 votes. Benue Governor Samuel Otom, among the G5, lost his election bid for Benue Northwest. The People's Democratic Party PDP senatorial candidate lost to his All Progressives Congress APC counterpart in the district, Titus Zam. The APC candidate polled 143,151, while the PDP scored 106,882, and the Labour Party's 51,950. Zam was an appointee of Autumn in his first tenure from 2015 to 2019, when he served as the special advisor to the governor on local government and chieftaincy affairs before he resigned from the Autumn administration on loyalty grounds. Plateau Governor Simon Lalong, who is also the Director General of the All Progressives Congress APC Presidential Campaign Council PCC, lost the bid to clinch the Plateau South Senatorial District slots. He lost to retired Air Vice Marshal Bali Ninkap Napoleon of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. The Independent National Electoral Commission, Inec, on Tuesday announced Senator Adamu Aliero of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, as the winner of Kebbi Central. The Inec returning officer, Professor Abbas Yusuf Bazata, who announced the result in Birnin Kebbi, said Aliero beat Governor Abubakar Bagudu to win the seat. Aliero scored 126,588 votes to defeat Bagudu, the incumbent governor of Kebbi and candidate of the All Progressives Congress APC, who polled 92,389 votes.
As Nigerians are anticipating the official announcement of the results of the 2023 presidential election conducted on February 25th, Clearview News Desk spoke with some residents of the Federal Capital Territory to seek their opinion on the performance of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and other relevant stakeholders so far in the delivery of free, fair, and credible elections. 3 days after what many have described as one of Nigeria's most historic presidential and National Assembly polls, results are now pouring in from several parts of the country. Before the exercise, expectations were sky high as millions of citizens, especially youths, came out in their numbers to elect their preferred candidates, who are expected to direct the country's affairs for the next 4 years. The ongoing announcement of the results across different states and at the National Collation Center in Abuja have elicited mixed reactions from Nigerians. While there have been chants of joy and celebration in some camps, others have been asking questions of the credibility of Nigeria's electoral umpire, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Clearview News Desk spoke to some Nigerians to gather their thoughts on the electoral process so far.
25th February, that is on Saturday, the few places that I monitored, virtually there was large voter turnout. In the areas that I monitor, I saw large turnout of women, to be specific. Women, the turnout was very, very impressive, whereby in some places, voting stretched into late night. That is to show you the passion people have for this 2023 election.
I believe the security agents did their best, yes, compared to previous elections. They tried. The only thing, this election would have been the best so far had it not been for the failure of the INEC chairman to upload the results in the portal.
INEC has been compromised, INEC officials were compromised, and it is glaring. So, and until, like they promised to rectify the whole thing, and until Nigerians see that they have reversed the ugly trend, they will no longer be comfortable with the election. They are just waiting for them to maybe announce the result. If it doesn't go their way, maybe they will take to the streets.
There have been a lot of reported infractions, the ones we even witnessed and all that, but this is our country. What is important is that we continue to insist that the right thing must be done. We have to continue to press on INEC to do the right thing.
Ahead of the governorship and state houses of assembly polls billed for March 11, 2023, just less than 2 weeks away, Nigeria's electoral process is still marked by prevailing issues like poor logistics, weak channels for transmission of electoral results, and a whole other factors. How then can the Independent National Electoral Commission restore the dwindling confidence of Nigerians to Inec in the ongoing presidential polls and in future elections?
When we have infractions, we should exercise patience and pass our observation to the necessary quarters so that we can now adjust and improve an electoral system rather than condemning the whole system. Mind you, you can know the billions of naira we have invested in this election to get to where we are now.
There were some places that the videos are there that elections were rigged in some areas. INEC should cancel those results. Those people that they identified that issued threats, one way or the other, should be arrested. The situation where security men will stand by and watch one individual tell you that if you're not from a particular tribe, if you're not going to vote for a particular party, that you should not be there. Security people will just be watching them. It's unheard of.
There is nothing INEC can do now to restore the confidence of Nigerians, especially the youth, except in cancelling this election as former President Olusegun Obasanjo is calling. I think the best thing to do now is to cancel the election and have a rerun. That will restore the confidence of Nigerians.
The confidence is that the Nigerians should still come out and vote with their feet.
There are issues of late coming of INEC materials and INEC personnel, and then insecurity. Some people were threatened at the point of voting that if you don't vote here or you don't vote here, these things, both the INEC and security agencies should rise up to the occasion to ensure that people are not intimidated not to vote.
As hopes are high for the official winner of the election to be declared, Nigerians are anticipating that the final result represents their will. If you are just joining us, you're watching the news on Clearview News Desk. When we come back, we bring you stories on women and children. Stay with us.
The news continues now with stories from our area of specialization, women and children. After the main transmission of our news, we rebroadcast on our YouTube page, Clearview TV. Do you operate a women or children's NGO? Are you at the helm of affairs of a government establishment or a corporate organization involved in the affairs of women and children? Then you are our partners in progress. We have a mission to better the lot of our women and children. Join us to celebrate womanhood and work assiduously to better the lot of the Nigerian child. This is our mission.
Welcome back. The People's Democratic Party (PDP) senatorial candidate for Kogi Central, Natasha Akpoti, has lost the senatorial election to Abubakar Sadiku Ohere of the All Progressives Congress (APC). The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) therefore declared Ohere as winner of the February 25th election for Kogi Central Senatorial District. Sadiku Ohere beat Natasha, the candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), to emerge winner of the keenly contested election. Professor Rotimi Ajayi, the INEC returning officer for Kogi Central Senatorial District, announced the result on Tuesday in Okene. Sadiku Ohere garnered 52,132 votes against Natasha's 51,763 votes to clinch the seat, a difference of 369 votes. A United Kingdom-based doctor, Obinna Obeta, accused of conniving with the Nigerian ex-Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu, currently facing trial on trafficking and organ harvesting in the United Kingdom, has opened up on why he lied about a potential donor. Clearview News had earlier reported that Obeta was accused of conniving with Ekweremadu and his wife to traffic a homeless man into the UK to harvest his kidney for their daughter. The doctor from Southwark, South London, was charged under the Modern Slavery Act. Obeta, who appeared at Bexley Magistrate Court in July last year, is charged with arranging the travel of 21-year-old Davy Ukpo from Nigeria to the UK. He is also accused of conspiring with Ekweremadu to arrange or facilitate the travel of the man with a view of him, that is Ukpo, being exploited through organ harvesting. But appearing in court, Obeta admitted that he lied about a potential kidney donor because he was desperate for his own operation to go ahead. The Old Bailey heard how Dr. Obeta had traveled with a donor from Nigeria in 2021, who he incorrectly said was his cousin. He, however, denies breaking modern slavery laws. And on the foreign scene, an Israeli-American has been shot and killed in the occupied West Bank as retaliatory unrest intensifies. Elan Janilis, 26, was killed in an attack on a vehicle. Elan Ganiris, 26, was killed in an attack on vehicles on a highway near the city of Jericho. The shooting happened after Israeli settlers attacked Palestinian villages in the West Bank on Sunday night with dozens of cars and houses burned. That attack came after 2 settlers from a nearby village were shot dead by a Palestinian on Sunday. Janilis was taken by paramedics to a hospital in Jerusalem, but was later pronounced dead. U.S. Ambassador Tom Knight tweeted, "Sadly, I can confirm that a U.S. citizen was killed in one of the terror attacks in the West Bank tonight. I pray for his family." The Israel Defense Forces said attackers opened fire on Israeli vehicles on 3 occasions and later set their own vehicles on fire. There was an exchange of fire with police before the attackers fled. There was no immediate claim of responsibility by any Palestinian groups. And that's the news. But before we go, a recap of the top stories. The federal government has warned former President Olusegun Obasanjo to steer clear of inciting and provocative comments and letters on the 2023 presidential and National Assembly elections. In a statement this Tuesday, the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, said what the former president cunningly framed as an appeal for caution and rectification was nothing but a calculated attempt to undermine the electoral process and a willful incitement to violence. Abuja residents have continued to react to the alleged anomaly that greeted the 2023 presidential and National Assembly elections. Some Abuja residents are calling for the outright cancellation of the results, while others want a rerun in affected areas. A United Kingdom-based doctor, Obinna Obeta, accused of conniving with the Nigerian ex-Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu in organ harvesting charges, has opened up on why he lied about a potential donor. Remember to like us on Facebook, Clearview Television. Follow us on Twitter at Clearview Online. Follow us on Instagram at Clearview News. And also remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Clearview TV. Many thanks for watching. I am Gloria Atta.